7-5 for the second and final time this afternoon. There's Caitlin Garcia, who went 9.825 on the table. The junior from San Diego on floor has hit personal best 9.875 twice this year, including last week.
She'll start with a combination pass there, 1.5 to front layout. Good height on the first. Didn't rise quite as much as I'd like on that layout. Nice extension, those straddle jumps, well performed. She'll finish with a double tuck here. Great job, very clean landing. Caitlin Garcia really coming on strong on floor this season.
At Oregon State, exceeding expectations. As mentioned, number 36 is an outlier. They're going to be top 20 by the end of the year, looking like it this afternoon.
Yep, very clean 1.5 front layout. I mentioned I like a little bit more rise out of that second somersault, but shouldn't be a deduction by college judges. And nice high double tuck. See her two coaches there, Michael Chaplin, and I don't think we've talked about Brian Carey.
We've not. I was going to wait until we see Jade, but obviously as the last name would connote, a family connection. Her father, and nothing but 9.9s for California. Speaking of those digits, MJ Frazier, 9.9 on vault, matched her career high with a 9.95 on bars. She had California's second perfect 10 here on beam a few weeks ago and went 9.925 last week, number 18 in the nation.
A tiny bobble there on her full turn. I was about to talk about, I love the way she does her full turn and her dance throughout. She really dances like she's on the floor, but this flight series, front aerial, back layout. Excellent job throwing her arms down to show command of that skill. Ring leap there, takes her eyes off the beam. Her foot is supposed to reach the height of her head. Don't try that at home. Here's her cartwheel, 1.5 dismount. Excellent height, nails the landing.
No doubt about it. She buried that landing.
Really exceptional. Aside from that tiny bobble on her full turn, this dismount, she does a cartwheel into this as opposed to a round off. She didn't quite get as far to the end of the beam as I would like. You could see she was a tiny bit close, not in danger of, hitting anything, but should not overshadow how beautiful that beam routine was and that she was able to land it perfectly.
With the floor coming up, where she is dynamic as well with a perfect 10 to her credit. And a first-team All-American, in fact, the first California Golden Bear to ever achieve a perfect 10 on floor, as she converses with another Cal legend. You talked about Nevaeh D'Souza and what she meant in her competitive career, now an assistant coach. So, the level of competition really rising as we get closer to the final rotation, and California backing up their number 5 ranking here on beam. A 9.9 for Garcia, 9.9 fest. Here in the third rotation for the first time today, we can focus on Ariana Young back here in the Bay Area. Senior from nearby San Mateo, went to San Mateo High. And a week ago, she matched her personal best on floor with a 9.925 against Brown to win the event.
We'll start with the double pike. she was enough to not step over that white line. Come back with a double tuck. Another well-controlled landing. To conclude her routine while showing us some disco moves. Front layout, front full, good control. Really the whole package there from the senior. Great tumbling, fun dance, good leaps.
And she has thrived coming back home to the San Francisco Bay Area last year here on Pac-12 Network. Also went 9.925 against the Stanford Cardinal at Mabel's Pavilion.
Look how closely she landed right up against that white line. Good control on the first pass. The second pass here, the double tuck. Nicely done. Maybe a hair too big of a step. But then there's the front tumbling. You have to show front and backwards tumbling. Great expression, great crowd involvement, a lot of confidence from the senior on this event.
Her family and friends on hand. She'll keep it going coming up on floor. 9.9 is the theme. 9.925 for Frazier. We talked about perfect 10 possibilities. Maya Lazan has achieved the feat. In fact, it was Cal's first ever perfect 10 off beam. It came a year ago.
And this routine will have a combination of beautiful artistry and flexibility with big tumbling. She will do a triple series here, 3 elements in combination. 3 back handsprings, or excuse me, 2 back handsprings to lay out. Series switch leap to a split jump. Nicely executed. And she does a huge double twist to finish a D element. Watch the height that she gets up off the beam. If she can find the landing, these judges seem ready to throw out the 10. Fantastic job. Beautiful stick. Now, when you land, even if you stick, there can be deductions built in. So her chest was a little forward and her arms wavered just a little bit. We'll see what they decide to do with it. Other than that, it was flawless.
We know what the crowd wants. They're thinking perfect 10. She came so close last week here on Pac-12 Network with a 9.975 at UW. So far today, a 9.925 on vault, 9.825 on bars.
Here's her triple series, 2 back handsprings into the layout from tip to end. And here's this dismount. Watch the height on the double full, spots the landing, and her chest is forward there. The slightest arm waver. And it looks like we've got a 9.9 judge, a 9.95 from the other. The student section is going crazy.
As the crowd comes alive, make it back-to-back 9.975s on the beam for the sensational
to see the atmosphere in Haas. building, the excitement, along with this phenomenal program.
And thanks to our bosses for having us on site. If you are an educated consumer, you know some broadcasters are not at the venue. Conference of Champions does it the right way. There's your commentary. Young on 985. Ellie Weaver's waited all afternoon for her first routine. We'll see her on Beam coming up as well, the sophomore from Vancouver. Coming off a 9-9 personal best a week ago against Brown.
Gorgeous. Oh no, double tuck that.
And she's in obvious pain. And this is tough to watch.
Really, really hard to watch.
And I don't think we need to see any more of this.
Nope.
As Ellie Weaver is down.
Yep. She was also slated to go on Beam for the Beavers. You can see our Young and the other teammates huddling up together. It's so hard to watch your teammate be injured like this. You can see Tanya Chaplin trying to refocus them.
So as Weaver is attended to, we will take a break. You're watching Pac-12 Women's Gymnastics here on Pac-12 Network. Carried off the mat and now receiving some attention, and unfortunately it's a part of all sports, but changes the entire dynamic of the event. And also we're dealing, as I can't be euphoric now, the numbers tell the story of 9975. We're dealing with real people with real emotions who know have to go back to work.
Exactly. And Gabby Perret here, a senior. She's been in this ankle position many times, so mentally tough. Cal has already put up a new season high with just their first 5 athletes. So in a way, the pressure is off, but obviously very emotionally charged in the arena right now. Beautiful connection, the front toss to the back tuck.
Gabby put up a 9.875 on bars. This is her final event a week ago. 9.875 personal best, nearly a perfect 10, a 9.975.
Leap series, very well executed. And now she will perform arguably the most unique dismount in college gymnastics. She'll do a side semi and a 1.5 twist off the side, right to the judges, and the tiniest of hops back, but an excellent job to really put an exclamation point on a huge beam set for Cal. At least a 49.65, unless Gabby goes over 9.9, in which case it'll be even higher.
California, utterly dominant on beam, and you hit on it. They're coming off a season high last week of 49.55.
So she flips sideways and then has to get enough momentum to do a backflip with a 1.5 twist, and do that in a way where she goes up high enough to complete it, but not back far enough that she lands in the lap of the judges. So really, it takes a lot of control to land that as well as she does.
Well, now it's up to Sofia Esposito. A reminder, she is a freshman, the reigning Pac-12 Freshman of the Week, to maintain her concentration, regain her composure, coming off a 9.825 on vault here on floor. 9.875 last week, season high 9.925 against Rutgers.
Front layout to a Rudy, so high, just to slide back. Sophia got to compete in front of her home crowd at Rutgers. She's from New York. Got to eat at her family's Italian restaurant in Little Italy. Has so much power. Gotta see if she can rein it in on her final pass here. into her double pike here. Doesn't need a back handspring. Excellent height. A little bit chest low. Takes that step forward. But that means they'll be able to drop the scratch from Ellie Weaver. So a very important routine. Great job by the freshman showing that.
Demonstrating why she was so highly touted and heavily worked for the New York metropolitan area.
And there's her round off double pike. So like I mentioned before, when you tumble backwards, you're allowed to take a step backwards. So by taking the step forward there, she will incur a deduction.
California is going to increase their lead. The only question is, how big will the margin swell to after some extraordinary numbers on beam? With the floor coming up for Cal, beam for Oregon State as we get closer to the tail end of this highly competitive dual meet in the East Bay.